that woman who said to me, she said, Pastor, there are no good-looking men in the church, so I'm going to the bar. And she did. Folks, here's a reality. You can be discontented with your singleness, but I want you to know that in that discontentment, you are just stealing from yourself a moment of history that you'll never be able to regain unless you go through the hardship of divorce. I have never seen a good divorce. Is anybody out there with me now? Divorce is painful, and I don't care if you caused it or the other person caused it. The fact is that divorce is a painful situation. Divorce is a painful reality, and the pains of divorce leave scars, and that, and many times, gets brought into your next relationship. When that short honeymoon period of your hubba wears off, you start realizing they got flaws. Does anybody here have issues? Anybody else want to be honest because you just showed you had an issue? Anybody here with at least one issue in your life? 2 issues in your life? Somebody here just simply messed all up. Okay, I see hands all over, married and single. The fact is that every one of us have issues in our life. Every one of us have realities of trial and tribulation and situations that we struggle with in our life. So what happens is when we're always looking for that one relationship that's going to fulfill us personally and sweep us away, you're going to be swept away all right because the issues are coming. Well, listen, you might not like it. I'm preaching good. If you're single, then I want to encourage you that the reality is this. One of the first things to get into your spirit is there is only one person that can make you content, and that is Christ. Because someday you're going to wake up and roll over. And you're going to see what you did. Hey, listen, it's not just the guys. Girls roll over and they don't have makeup on. Miss Adrian came in the office one day with no makeup on. I went, yo! So here we are, the reality of life, in that when single people want to be married so desperately that they do desperate things and things that they have never thought of, which means this: I have watched young men and young women trade their relationship for Jesus for somebody. And when you trade out for somebody, get ready, when the honeymoon is over, you got to still roll over. And what might be hot now can grow later. So as a Christian, if you and I, not me as a single, but if you're as a single person going to live this thing, the number one person you have got to be aware of is the Lord Jesus Christ. The number one person that you have got to be content with is Jesus Christ. When you and I try to make somebody else the cherry on top of our sundae, you're going to have a problem. And I've found many single people. Now, I've done a lot of weddings. And I've seen a lot of people after they're married go, oh my God, what did I do? And I have seen a lot of good marriages. Listen, even if you have a good marriage, you've asked that question before. You like my vest? Pastor, you just don't understand. I'm lonely. Lonely, lonely, lonely. child. Pastor, I got nobody to share my life with. I have so much love to give, but no place to give it. Love. I'm in a singing mood. Is a many splendid thing. Yes, they don't let me sing in the choir. Here's reality. Are you ready? If you're a single person and you need somebody, you know you're not ready. If you're a single person and you in your heart need somebody to fill a void in your life, you immediately know that you are not yet ready to be married. Why? Because Jesus has not yet been and is not yet the number one person in your life that gives you satisfaction and wholeness. You see, God's passion for single people, God's passion for his people altogether is wholeness. And that is where you and I are sufficient in ourselves with him, and then anybody else who comes into our life is a benefit and an addition, not the foundation. Pastor, why does God wait so long? Because you're not ready. But Pastor, I'm 72. You better hustle. What do you mean, Pastor, I'm not ready? Do you realize that God, what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. When you say, I do, you are one. It doesn't mean you are one. Because two halves don't make a whole. Now, you are one in God's sight and you are married, but it don't mean that everything's okay. A lot of people try to bring another person into their life to fill that void, but not only fill that void, there are people out there who will date people. Why? Because they know they can help them. Listen, if you get into the mode of trying to help somebody to date them out of their problems, I'm here to tell you, you're going to marry them in your problems, and then you really got a problem. As single people, there has got to be something driving you. There's got to be someone driving you, and that is this: Jesus Christ. When Christ is your number one, when Christ is your fulfillment, and that you are ready, when that other person also makes Jesus Christ their number one and they're ready, baby, you're going to have a good marriage. I didn't say an easy marriage. I don't care how whole the two people are. The reality is that two imperfect people are coming together to be one, which means you're going to have problems. Anybody ever heard of a power struggle before? Anybody ever experienced a power struggle in your house before? One honest person, glory to Jesus. The fact is that you and I are still going to have problems when we get married, even if you've got two whole people coming into the marriage. But can you imagine the devastation? Can you imagine the continual wounding? Can you imagine what's happening inside of each of you as when you get hurt, you start closing down, or when you get hurt, you start getting defensive? Why? Because when you are not healed up, when you are not healthy in Jesus, when you have not made Jesus number one, then you are placing another God and you're looking for that person to heal your heart. And I'm here to tell you, a psychologist can't heal your heart. A psychoanalyst can't heal your heart. Only Jesus came to heal the brokenhearted. So as a single person, when you start looking for another person to fill that void, do you remember when we talked about it a while back ago? Remember we were talking about hurts and wounds and stuff and how to get healed. And remember the two chairs I brought up? And I said, what really happens in people's lives is they put their worth in the wrong place. How many remember that message? Every one of us deal with